Hey everyone, welcome to this week's mini pod of the MFM podcast. We just thought we'd do a little extra just because there's a topic that kind of didn't fit into the full episode, but we want to touch on it, and that is the Karen Reed saga. We've got a couple of massive true crime fans here. So
I'm a massive true crime. Well, yeah. I'm a massive true crime fan too, and I have a feeling based on what you guys said that I might disagree with you.
And I'm not a fan. I'm a citizen sleuth. Get it right.
True. She has Amanda. This is great. Amanda has she calls her. I like solved cases. Yeah. She likes unsolved cases.
I'm in between, where like it has to be the day. Like if I'm in the mood to hear.
She gets really into these unsolved cases, and she calls them her pet cases.
You need to watch
I'm imagining just like,
you need to watch the documentary about my cousin. Then, which did you ever watch it?
You have a cousin.
It was actually #1 in the world.
Can
on
you
Netflix
say
for a
the
while.
name of
it was the Octopus American Conspiracy Theory on Netflix. Watch it.
What's your cousin's name?
His name was Danny Castellaro. He
that's your cousin?
Did you watch the documentary?
No, but I know this case.
Yeah, that was my cousin.
She's like, that's one of my pets.
Speaking of which,
he was one of my pets. Oh, Danny.
No.
And he did not commit suicide. Like he definitely.
So that's my favorite. I'm a suicide counselor.
Yeah.
I'm a crisis counselor, and so one of my favorite niche types was it a suicide, a murder, or an accident?
So you know Danny's case?
I do know Danny's case. Yes.
Yeah.
And missing persons.
I could probably tell you things about the case that you don't know for sure.
Gosh, I have an insider.
Yeah.
As a citizen sleuth, I feel like I'm like sitting next to like, I don't know, Muhammad Ali right now.
The case was pretty. It was pretty big, and you have to watch the documentary. It was really
I'm gonna watch it, and then I'll talk.
Do you know how long? And we'll dive into this. People thought I was like crazy when like I have like coffee table books of his because he was an author. He was the reason I became a journalist. Oh. And when I would say that like my cousin was killed by the CIA, people would look at me like I was insane.
Absolutely.
You know, and they would be like. And I'm like, no, you don't understand. Before he was autopsied, like they cleaned up and blah blah blah.
Michelle,
they embalmed him before my family was notified and stuff. But anyway,
it's really cute. We know that's not actually. It's a cute little act you have. We know you don't actually know him.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
All right. Let's talk about Karen Reed.
Yeah. Let's dive in to the Karen Reed trial.
I think we should give we're obviously not experts, but I think for someone that's listening that maybe doesn't.
On this case. I don't know about you, but I'm an expert on this case.
It's not one of my pet cases, but
this is my pet.
Well, let's
for multiple reasons.
Then you give a little background. Like give like 30 seconds or a minute, just so people know what's going on.
And I'm like, I totally think she's innocent. I personally, in my life, have had corruption like that has happened. So I'm like, all right. So she was arrested. They said she killed her boyfriend. That she ran him over with a car. You could jump in with details.
Boyfriend who's a cop.
I'll just set this up. I'll set it up real quick. Her boyfriend's a Boston cop. They've been dating a little while. They were at some friends' places. They were at a bar. Then they went back to their friends' places after.
Not really their friends.
All who are in the police industry.
Yes. And then Karen left.
She was drinking and driving.
She was drinking and
driving. She was waiting in her car while he ran in because she didn't know if it was like cool for them to go in there.
That's right.
They were arguing.
Yep.
And then
he didn't come out, so she went home and like a crazy. This is how I know she's innocent based on this. She left him like a million messages because she was a crazy girl who thought he was in there. Listen, every girl has done it. You know what I mean? Every girl has thought, oh my God, and blown up his phone. If she killed him, she would not have blown up his phone like that. That's what I feel like.
So they were outside talking. He went inside. He didn't come back out. She left.
Went to his house, took a nap.
The next morning.
And there's video of her pulling into the house.
So they found his body
in the snow.
In the snow the next morning.
Outside this person's house.
Outside this person's house. Yeah. Okay, well, here's the question right off the bat. So they were talking, and then he went inside and didn't come back out?
Yeah, she was good. He was going to go in to make sure it was cool that they were going in there and whatever. And because she said that she didn't see like a lot of people there.
She also had kind of like we were talking about like some there was a girl or a woman I think that she got weird vibes from.
Yeah. The one who Googled how long to die in cult.
Yeah. Well.
But also like it was his police friends. They were already arguing the day like he wasn't spending enough time with her, so that it was like hot.
Yeah.
Was after she said go see if it's cool or whatever, and he went inside.
He never came back out.
He never came back out. So she left.
And she was calling his phone while she was sitting there. And
so he didn't go back out and then not come back inside. He went inside and didn't come back out.
I think she wanted to go home and he was like, let me just go in, say hi, shoot the shit a little bit, and just like give me 10 minutes. Meanwhile, like they have history of him like making her drive his kids around, wait for her. And she's like, I'm not doing this.
You
for
could tell by the voicemails that she left. Like she was like an angry female. Like you're cheating, you're this, you're that.
So then what does this state say? Then when would she have ran over him? How are they saying that?
Well, the update right now is that they just had a mistrial on the first trial. And like 2 days ago was a new trial started. So the mistrial, it was called a mistrial because of...
Yeah, well, so the jury, apparently the jurors found her not guilty of murder. But because they couldn't decide on the manslaughter, they called the whole thing a mistrial.
And I think as of today, or like before the trial started, the jury was able to go to the house that the party was at. And I think that just happened.
Here's the thing about the house, and I know you guys are torn, but finish the story and I'll tell you.
Well, my question is, what do the cops or the state prosecutor, what do they say, like, when did she kill? Like, okay, they
say
get
they
to the
never
house.
knew he was even that they were there.
Yeah, no, they said
which
that
is
they were
they're saying he never went inside.
They were arguing in the car. He got
then
out of the car and she angrily.
Yes, I got you.
I don't think she. And then they're saying that she didn't do it on purpose.
Okay, so
she angry girlfriend reversed. Pulled out, hit him. Maybe didn't know she hit him. Maybe he did, and left.
And then I don't know the exact timeline, but they found pieces of her taillight. Not that night.
Oh, it was not a. It was. They found it. It was not a closed. Area.
They were putting the snow in solo cups to see.
And many people had been around the area. It wasn't
important to note. Plow driver. So let's say she left. It was midnight. It's not exactly that time, but it was around that time. She went back till I think 6 a.m. or whatever it was. Not exact time, but in that time window, John's body would have been laying there.
Because he died.
What's his last name? John. O'Keefe, there you go. Like, so John O'Keefe's body would have been laying there in the snow.
That's a producer right there.
This is important because you would have seen his body would have been visible to people.
Well, and his cause of death was head trauma, but also he froze to death.
Yes.
He had head trauma, but he was still alive. What caused him to die?
And no trauma from here below if he got hit by a car.
He would have survived if someone helped him after the head trauma, but because he was suffering, literally suffering for hours in the snow,
and nobody saw. So all the people that left after Karen didn't see his body. A plow driver testified that. And he has these massive lighting systems that light up for miles. That John's body was not laying there when he passed at 2:30 in the morning.
Just white. You would think you would be able to see a man.
So he testified his body was not laying there
someone
when
in the
he
house,
drove by.
they claim that they eventually came out and saw his body, or who found the body?
No, so Karen called them all freaking out when because she was up all night at John's house, but maybe laid down for a bit. Called Jen McCabe. And the other women that were inside the house, and they came and picked Karen up, and at that time no one still saw John's body, and drove Karen around, and then they went back and Karen saw John's body on the side of the road.
So so basically
there's other things in there, but
so the two possibilities are either that they pulled up to the friend's house and he went inside and then she went home, and then something happened. Okay, or they pulled up to the house, fought, and before he went inside, she hit him. So these people are saying he never came in the house.
Yes.
Okay.
But they have sold their house. They got rid of their dog. He also had injuries consistent with an animal attack.
You can Google image some of his wounds, because one of the main points of contention
they don't align with a car hitting him at all.
The state is saying this specific injury is exactly from someone being hit by a car, and then the defense is saying this is literally a dog bite. So they had a dog bite expert come on. Just Google image this.
The woman that did the autopsy said that it was not everything, any injuries like anyone that's got hit by a car that she's ever seen. He had nothing below his head.
Yeah.
My best friend is a medical examiner, autopsy. I'm as obsessed as I am,
That's like a celebrity in the true crime world.
I know.
Too. I know a celebrity.
I love that.
I know someone who knows a celebrity.
That's why I'm not a fan. I'm a citizen sleuth.
Yeah. Silly.
But this is as a layman, I pulled up this picture and I was like, oh, the dog bite. It's 100% dog. I didn't even know it was him.
Yeah.
So this family,
and they rehomed their dog.
One of the first things you hear
tore up the basement
is that the family rehomed this dog that they had for a long time.
Forever. It always gets crazier.
But now it's like the last day of the first trial was like a dog bite expert versus a non-dog bite expert was like going at it.
Wild.
And they have a ring camera of Karen. So there's a crack in her taillight, right?
Yes.
Mind you, at the scene, they never found pieces of her taillight until the one sketchy detective who, I'll tell you in a second, found it. Can you look that up for us, how long it was?
I thought it was like the next day, but just like later that night. Many people had been through this.
That evidence, and then they have a ring camera footage of Karen completely aside at John's house, backing her car into John's car by accident. So that could have been how the taillight.
And it's like it hits in the exact spot.
They also have footage of the sketchy cop creeping around Karen's car. The only other piece of evidence they have is a hair of John's on her taillight that they are saying. Did you see how far the car traveled in the snowstorm? That they're saying the hair stayed on the bumper? An hour. The car traveled an hour with the hair. But there's no way the hair stays when it's on the back of a tow truck flying in the wind.
But 12 hours.
12 hours.
Yeah.
So
but it was like way later.
Yeah.
That's
not even the worst of it.
He's a good producer.
The majority of the time that I've been following the case, I have my female intuition and then my citizen
you
sleuthing.
Mean your femtuition?
My femtuition and then my citizen sleuthing talents and skills.
Shout out dating detectives.
Has been that she is innocent.
We should do some true crime mini pods. Maybe we'll do that and bring you in and do some true crime mini pods.
I have a brilliant
idea.
So has been that she is innocent.
Yeah.
Very deeply, unfortunately, there's been so many side things to this, like the turtle man, the turtle guy.
Or the one cop, the lead investigator's text. Did you hear about that?
Yes, where he was like bashing on Karen, but he was the one.
So you think this is a good old boys club? They're protecting each other?
100%.
So that's why I can't say I'm 100% and why I'm more on the fence. This whole time I have thought she was innocent, but I tread lightly when it comes to more than 1, 2, 3 people all on the same page for a conspiracy. I mean, there's bad players in every industry. I'm not saying it couldn't be a conspiracy or that they totally effed her. But this is like, it's a good mystery in that, like, if she's not guilty, you would have to make a couple leaps to what the defense is saying. Now, he could have died for something that hasn't been put on the table yet.
Yeah.
I think that he was about to arrest him for drugs and stuff.
Well, and they say that he did not really like John. Yeah. And also, he was in his 20s, kind of experimenting with drugs, peak testosterone.
Yeah.
They've kind of like thrown bad words at each other back and forth. The theory is that he beat the shit out of him.
Yeah.
And
his injuries are consistent with that, not of a car
and that
crash.
he wasn't dead in the house, but they were like, get out of here, like, let's break him up, get out of here. And he was punched in the head one too many times, collapsed outside and died.
Yeah.
Obviously, I won't dive into it, but I married a politician's son.
Yeah.
So divorcing him, I watched stuff happen that, like, this case is nothing. Jen McCabe Googled, they say Haas because she misspelled it, how long to die in the cold.
Yeah.
At 2-something a.m. And then all of them.
Google searches always tell you the truth. Man.
All of them had butt dials. Like, those are like, I mean, and they all destroyed their cell phones.
I kind of
One of them got rid of the SIM card. Yeah.
I feel like you have to make so many to prove a conspiracy.
Like, why would they do it? Yeah.
Not even, like, it absolutely could have happened, but, like, this woman is not going to get freedom if it's against her, against the police department.
Yeah.
Even with a jury, it's like, you're not just telling her that she's guilty. You have to make the police guilty. It's, like, too much. I mean, I think
there's pictures of him out at a bar with bruises and shit all over him.
And his
and his
a lot of parents would make the wrong decision in protecting their son or their daughters.
Yeah.
And
so the butt dial thing too, like,
there's too much.
I think there's 4 of them.
Yeah.
That like all called each other around like the 2 a.m. mark.
Yeah.
And they're all claimed that it was butt dials.
Wait,
like,
why?
which is impossible.
Is this because it's Boston? What? I don't understand. Why is it going on another trial? Like, I think I've heard people be like, oh no, she 100% did it, and they're like professionals in this field.
Yeah.
We're obviously not doing this for.
I don't think there's a single chance she did it.
But like
I really don't.
What is the conspiracy? The Boston hates a badass woman.
Yeah, I don't know.
No, they started the cover up. Like, the one sketchy cop who said she has a nice ass, but she's whatever. Like the one who's like fired now, he has connections to all of them.
No,
like
he's like something like very important.
Yeah, I guess,
but he was close with that family too, so it just became like a small.
The
And I've
conspiracy would just be helping your friend. Like,
listen, I've witnessed that happen in my life in ways that you would never think. People like
this is the CIA girl. So
putting
like,
their when I was trying to divorce my there was people putting their entire career on the line for people that barely knew my ex-mother-in-law. Like,
they have to go harder because if I'm a hairdresser, okay, my career might not be ruined, but if I'm a police officer and I did something wrong, I'm going to go hella hard because not only does my career ruined, but I'm a disgrace to the police.
I mean, they threw away their cell phones on a military base so that it couldn't cracked the SIM cards.
But what's the jury? So why is it so hard for the jury?
I don't know. That's what I'm shocked. And
I think because I'm with you. It's like a lot of times when I am hesitant to jump to conspiracy, like I really need to. It's hard to prove a conspiracy to me.
I never ever believe,
especially these days.
Either.
Everyone's throwing around all this conspiracy.
I'm normally
so
like that too.
You really got to prove, but like it's getting to the point where it's like, I mean, you know, maybe I like the idea that they got in a fight, the kid beat his ass, he passed out, he died,
and
they were like,
dog
oh
had
shit,
to have something to do with
shit,
it.
and then the parents like would cover up, and then maybe the parents know this
and then
detective,
maybe Karen started calling, and then they realized.
So
I don't think it's as clear cut.
Oh no, that's what happened too. I think that's when they realized what they were, because she said, and I would have said the same thing. Did I hit him? Did I hit him? Did I hit him? Or I hit him? I hit him? I hit him?
Poor girl. But
What's the
that's
matter?
so normal for being in such a traumatic situation.
I need a gavel.
I
was gonna render a. Yes, I was going to render a verdict.
Listen, that's
to
a
end
good
the
point,
episode.
though. She said when the cops and stuff got there, like out of freaking out, she was like, "I hit him. Did I hit him? I hit him." You know, like that, and they're taking that to the point.
Are you about
where
to true crime us right now?
I know. I'm like a little scared.
No, I'm going
so,
to.
End of the day, do you think she's? What do you think?
Well, you guys go first.
Well, she said hers.
I completely think she's innocent. There's so much reasonable doubt that if the jury is doing what they're supposed to do, there's too much reasonable doubt.
I will
to
say
convict.
this. I'll say this from a jury perspective, even though I do have some harder beliefs, but from a jury perspective, there is too much reasonable doubt.
Yeah.
Right. Well,
not guilty.
And that's all they need is
exactly.
tiniest,
not
like,
guilty. It doesn't matter what my opinion is. Too much reasonable doubt.
All right. Based on that, the Honorable Judge Mercer has made a decision. Not guilty. Okay. If only we knew someone who knew a guy who'd been killed by the CIA. That's been the MFM mini pod, True Crime. Thanks for joining us.
Bye.